What is up, guys? Welcome back to another deadline stream. This time, obviously, we're going to be talking about the Everton game, but I will also go over probably some of my plans. And I recently shaved, so I'm sure I look like a little kid. But I definitely want Calvert-Lewin to score. And yeah, I'm going to be watching the Everton game, so I may not always be viewing chat. So we'll see what happens. Calvert-Lewin had one big chance so far. It was pretty disappointing. When I saw the ball fall to him, I was pretty confident that he was going to score, and he didn't. That's really the only big chance he's gotten over the past three halves of football, and he hit it into the keeper, which was very unfortunate. But the second half has begun yet again, and West Brom are attacking decently well, which is, I don't know how I feel about it. It's not the worst thing ever because at least they leave some spaces in behind, Like, Everton theoretically could counter them, given how much they're getting forward. So here's how my team's just had a terrible game week, and I feel like a lot of people are the same. But for me, it's been horrific with Loughton and Target not really doing anything, which is kind of surprising. Target got 7 points, but it could have been so much more. Loughton only getting 2, Stones getting benched once, Cancelo being benched once was I expected. Gundogan got benched once as well. Everton have the ball deep in the box there. Dina's about to cross, and it's always a good sign for Calvert-Lewin, but West Brom are able to get it away, and then Gomez fails at a long shot. But yeah, my week hasn't been too great, and I need Calvert-Lewin here to really save me. Right now I'm down like 40, 50k, something like that. To be fair, 4 points triple captain. Last year I captained triple captain Salah. He got 16. Before that, I triple captained who was it? Duffy. Yeah, so he got 1 point, I believe. So 4 points is better than 1 point. And triple captain is it's kind of the worst chip. It can be fine, of course. I think bench boost is slightly better in most cases. I would say better, not even slightly better. And obviously the wild card and free hit I would also rate above that. So really I think triple captain is the worst chip. So I'm not too upset about the blank, like not nailing triple captaincy. It's just one extra set of points over captaincy. It's not worth that much in a lot of cases, but in a double game week you would expect it to be at least worth 10 points. So anything below that is pretty disappointing. Everton simply haven't been very creative. I know they don't have James in the team, but that hasn't impacted them in a lot of cases. I don't know. They're just not as good as they were when they started the season. I suppose I don't know. West Brom also, you could say they've done well, but I like Dianya, or however you say his name. I think he looks good. If West Brom can actually start winning some games, I feel like he'll be a great option. It'll be interesting to see if he's on penalties. I suspect he's probably not, but you never know. And again, West Brom are holding on to possession here. This would be a good time for a Johnston mistake. Like handing the ball away to Calvert-Lewin. Last time I had one of those goals where the keeper gave it away to one of my players. I believe maybe it was Ings, the time that happened. I forgot when that was, but I think it was. I honestly don't remember. The last time I significantly remember it is actually Antonio Valencia, a long time ago. Hey Kobe, how's it going? Triple captaincy fails are unfortunately pretty common. So again, I'm not too upset about it, but I think that Calvert-Lewin with these two great matchups, man, it's terrible. It's terrible the fact that he's blanking again. Donna says meow. And Donna's decision, by the way, she picked Bamford over Loughton. They both got 2 points, so didn't make a difference. I've got my you know what? I'll leave my notifications on, so I'll be able to see if another team scores a goal. I typically, while I watch games on my phone, I have to turn notifications off because they come before the actual goals happen. But it's also, if you watch on Peacock or NBC Sports, places here in America, I believe in general they take the actual game footage from like other broadcasts, so I think it's delayed for that reason, or maybe some other reason, I don't know. As who was that? Pereira cuts it on his left foot and hits an okay shot, but Pickford easily handles it. Pickford with a great save earlier, by the way, from the header from Diagne. I should probably look up how to say his name. I'm basically just saying it like Digne. West Brom again crossing the ball basically in the 6 and causing a lot of problems. Ainsley Maitland-Niles hasn't been terrible this game, but he hasn't been the most involved ever, as Donna decides that she wants to get up here. So as far as this team goes, 59 points at the moment. Not great. I need to look at what I'm going to do next week. So probably getting rid of Barnes, but I think getting rid of Rashford is the less simple move that makes a little more sense, assuming that I don't think he's going to do anything against Man City. And Rashford is not somebody that I really want long term. Now, I could keep him for the West Ham and then the Brighton game. Those aren't bad, right? If I do keep him, I think I'll be okay playing him those weeks, but he simply hasn't been that good of an option. I don't like the amount of shots he gets or doesn't get, but the last 2 times he's done well. They were in very easy fixtures at home, Southampton and Newcastle. Is Brighton in that category? Maybe. Burnley, I wouldn't put them in that category. I don't think West Ham are in that category. So maybe the Brighton game could be good, but if I'm just holding him for one game week, it's a single game week, I'm not too excited about it. I could just get in Son. They play They play Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Villa. I just think that's better. I think going for Son makes more sense. So maybe Rashford to Son, and then I just hope I can find a way to get rid of Barnes in the future. Honestly, I don't love any of the mid options. So personally, I think as Everton actually had the ball and are actually having an attack, I don't know. I may just go Barnes down to a 4.5 and use that money elsewhere. Maybe Ings to somebody like Vardy, Kane, something like that after the Southampton double. Maybe get rid of Calvert-Lewin for somebody better. Like, there's plenty of options, I suppose. But I think I may just use Barnes for money, and that would mean I wouldn't be able to rotate these other guys, which I think I'd be okay with if I had Son, Gundogan, Bruno, Salah. Even Bamford has tough matchups, though. I don't see it sucks. Oh, West Brom are close to scoring. A flash ball right inside the 6-yard box goes out for a throw-in from Gallagher. And, Bamford in 31, 32, 33, maybe I just have to sell him, or maybe I just play 4 defenders that week. But what I was going to say is I really don't think that with the way my team is at the moment, it's not bad, but I think I'm going to end up holding my position by the end of the season around 50K. I feel like that's probably where I'll end up, to be honest. For some reason, I just can't sustain top 10K place this year. Like, even going into this week when things look so good, sometimes it just doesn't work out. The Man City triple up, Bruno and Rashford. Salah's still yet to play, so a big game from Salah makes a big difference because we know that's possible. Barnes being injured. Nobody in my team did anything. My whole bench besides Johnston's been terrible, and I should have played him. It was just complete garbage. The only person that scored is John Stones, and Target had a clean sheet, and Areola a clean sheet as well. Other than that, it's just a bunch of blanks. Luckily, Gundogan, Bruno, and Rashford all got 6 points. Oh, and Gundogan got the assist, but it doesn't really count. But I think looking at next week, as far as captaincy goes, I mean, there's Vardy. There's the Man City guys. Obviously, you're probably going to go Man City in the end of the day with the double game week. The issue is that they're very likely to be benched for the Southampton game. So if they play in the Manchester Derby and then they get benched, are they really that good of an option? I may actually go. I mean, I think Ruben Diaz would be good because he's the most reliable to start, I would say. Maybe Stones would honestly be a decent captaincy option. But Salah is not bad. We'll see how he does this week against Chelsea. As Andre Gomes has a shot that Johnson catches. Again, some half chances here and there, but I could see this game ending 0-0, which is very unfortunate for me. But, Salah, I don't know. Against Fulham, I don't think that would be that bad of a matchup. Maybe I bring in Son and captain him. Son, in the first game, I haven't watched any of this game. In the first game, Son was very creative, and that's what I like to see considering the fact that we know he's a good finisher, even though he doesn't get the most chances. He's always going to get some goals, but that hasn't really impressed me about him recently. But last game, I looked it up, and he actually got 1.7 expected assists. So that's very good. 1.7 in one game is amazing. I know he basically had an assist this week. He assisted a Dele Alli shot that ended up to an own goal. I believe that's how it went. So Son in is looking good. Spurs look a little bit more creative than I anticipated. With that said, Kane's still sort of been. He hasn't been a fail. He got one return. It's good enough, but the goal he scored was very, very fortunate in my opinion. That deflection from that angle, that ball was really not going to go in any other way. So Kane really lucky in my opinion for the return he did get. He did have a nice shot from outside the box, and he did fail on a big chance that he had. So of course, one goal from that game isn't like some crazy thing. I'm not going to say it's unlucky or lucky for owners, but the goal he did score was certainly fortunate, as Richarlison sort of has a chance for a counterattack, but again, West Brom are just kind of controlling this game right now. Everton not looking amazing. They need to get forward and start sending some crosses into Calvert-Lewin. I'm worried he'll be subbed off early, but we never really know. I guess that depends on the extent of how injured he's been and how much they want to preserve his fitness. I mean, Ings' captaincy wouldn't be terrible, I suppose. Assuming you get one game against Sheffield United, they may even bench him against City. Like, I think he's got a good chance to play both, though. That would be an outside shot. I mean, I would be willing to take a chance on it, that's for sure. Sheffield United, what did they do against Liverpool? They conceded 2 to Liverpool. Liverpool haven't been amazing recently, as Iwobi is subbed off for Allen. That's an interesting sub. Even though that's defensive, I don't mind it, because I think you're putting more quality on the field, and it could help Calvert-Lewin. They just need to get a hold of the game before they can even think about attacking right now, besides random counterattack, which I feel like Richarlison would be a little more threatening from. But yeah, Barnes out soon, but I want to get a Tottenham guy in. And the Chelsea lineup is in. The Chelsea and Liverpool. I don't know why I said Chelsea first. I guess because they're the better team at the moment. That was actually kind of dangerous. A goal kick, Calvert-Lewin flicked it on. If he just happens to get the angle right, Richarlison was in. Calvert-Lewin's kind of in here. He got the ball in the box, but he had to drop it back out. So still nothing from Calvert-Lewin. Let's go to Chelsea. Actually, we can just go to my notifications. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin hasn't been too impressive. We've sort of been shown, it's sort of the same with any striker like Calvert-Lewin, but he really needs good service in order to do well. That's the kind of striker he is. If you give him good service, he's going to look great, besides earlier in this game, but that doesn't make him a bad player. It's just the kind of player he is. But he just can't get involved at all when they're not even doing anything. the game's kind of opening up a little bit. I will say that. But yeah, Liverpool. There's no real surprises here. It's a reasonably strong lineup. Obviously, no Van Dijk, but no Henderson as well because of the injury. They got Alexander and Trent. That's right. Alisson, Trent, Kabak, Fabinho, Robertson, Wijnaldum, Jones, Thiago, Mane, Salah, and Firmino. Thiago is in the lineup, so they'll probably lose. Moving on to Chelsea. Mendy starts, which isn't guaranteed. Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, James, Jorginho, Kanté, Chilwell, Ziyech, Mount, Werner. So Werner starts, Pulisic still on the bench, Alonso on the bench, no Chilwell. This is why, me personally, I don't see a time where we're ever going to be able to say that Alonso is a legitimate option. Too much rotation. I know this is a big game, and in my opinion, Alonso is best in the little games where he has time to get forward and get in the box and score. But because it's weird how he's more of a goal threat than an assist threat for a wingback. That's kind of unusual, but that's how he is. And this looks like a 4 at the back, right? I mean, yeah, it's 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. So that's interesting with James at right back, maybe Azpilicueta at right back. I don't know. I guess either one could play left back. I would suspect that it would be James at left back, but I mean, I don't know. This is going to be a good game, actually. But yeah, Chilwell and Alonso, as far as I'm concerned, unless something crazy happens, where all of a sudden they start playing every game, but they're going to have to show me something before I bring them in. I'm not going to bring them in hope at this point. They're completely off the table, as, I mean, most Chelsea players are. Werner, too much rotation for the price. He doesn't even get a consideration from me, really. I think he could be decent if he starts playing more, simply because there's not too many forward options. But at his price, there almost are. Kane's kind of close to that price, and then you have Vardy as well. Jeez, Richarlison, that was a terrible pass. Everton actually have numbers forward here. They almost outnumber him. Calvert-Lewin's almost slipped through. That happened a couple of times last game. Calvert-Lewin does end up with the ball. Ooh, that's a reckless tackle from Maitland now. It's probably not that bad. Should be yellow card, I would say. But I didn't get a clearer look of it, of course. But yeah, there was twice last game where Calvert-Lewin, they sort of passes I didn't think would work, but they ended up being close where the goalkeeper was able to get out just in time before Calvert-Lewin got to it, or the center back was able to sweep it up. But that's sort of been the story of Calvert-Lewin's game week. He's been close to he hasn't been getting a good shots on target or anything, but occasionally he's been close to, cases where if he got the ball, it's probably a goal. And we finally saw him get one of those earlier this game, and of course he missed. And it's kind of what I was depending on. I was thinking before the game, he'll probably get one big chance, maybe two, and he'll probably score. I thought he was going to score it, but it is what it is. I like how the game's planning out now. Ever since they put Allen in, it's looking a little better for Everton. That was a great run, but that ball could have been much better. One of those cases where somebody gets played over the top. Well, that's what would have happened if he successfully did the pass. And there's a good chance of him squaring it for a Calvert-Lewin tap in. I could have easily seen that happening there, but it didn't quite work out. As Everton won a corner, which could be very nice for us Calvert-Lewin owners. No, Jota didn't start. Oh, Fulham scored? Nice. That's nice. That's actually, that's fine. A lot of Regulon owners, I suppose. Are there a lot of them? There not that many. I would have never went for a Spurs defender, as I said, because I'd never want to deal with that rotation. As Digne gets the ball back from the corner and floats in across, and well, let's see. Sigurdsson put the cross in. It comes back to him. He puts it in again, and this is just a Richarlison header goal. That's all that is. Richarlison's good at heading the ball. That's for sure. Hopefully West Brom will actually press forward now, and that will leave some more space in behind. Get the feeling that Calvert-Lewin may have got that if Richarlison didn't. But yeah, unfortunately, Richarlison scores the header instead of Calvert-Lewin. Man, I should have doubled up on Everton instead of Barnes. If I would have done Ings to Richarlison, would have never done that though because of the upcoming double game week for Ings. Not that it's amazing, but at least 2 extra points given the Man City game. But Sheffield United is also a good fixture, so Ings has some good fixtures coming up. I don't think I would have ever really made that move, but Calvert-Lewin really needs to do something now. The thing that sucks about that too is I wanted Calvert-Lewin to get the first goal if he does score because the way the bonus point system works, in case you don't know, if you get the game-winning goal, you get an extra 5 bonus point system points. So if West Brom don't score at all, Richarlison is going to be slightly favored in bonus, most likely. But if West Brom score and Calvert-Lewin scores, that would be nice as well. It's just upsetting seeing a corner be scored, a header from a corner or a corner situation, and it not be Calvert-Lewin. But yeah, ever since Allens came in, they took off Iwobi, which any way that you can kind of make that work tactically, you would want to do that, right? Like, the difference in quality between those 2 players is just not even close, in my opinion. Well, probably in everybody's opinion. Not to hate on Iwobi, but I'm not really sure what he's good at. Let me check out. I haven't even paid attention to any of the other games. I see stuff about a handball. I don't know. Maybe Kane scored a penalty or something, and I missed it. Oh, okay. No, they called the goal back. Oh, that's what happened. So that sucks, but I'm not too surprised. Yellow card for Furlong, it appears. And Dele Alli actually scored. When I saw him in the team, I was actually I didn't know how to feel, because you would think with Alli in the team, he could take up more of a cam role and Kane could, sort of stay as a striker. But I think what happens a lot of times, or, we haven't seen this a lot, but something Alli may like to do is simply, when Kane drops back, he'll just drift into the striker spot. It seems like what Alli would do. So maybe Kane doesn't even need to play there. I was thinking that the other day when I mentioned England's lineup on stream, how England are going to line up. They could actually, if Calvert-Lewin was like in great form or something, I don't really think it would work. Unless Vardy came out of retirement and they wanted him to play in the World Cup. But, you could start Kane at like a center attacking mid role in a 4-2-3-1. I wouldn't advise it, but I could see some managers wanting to try it, at least. If you really wanted to fit somewhere like Vardy that could run in behind. If you wanted that, but you also wanted Kane, given a certain fixture or whatever it may be. You could play Kane and Cam, center attacking mid. As Everton about to take this free kick right on the edge of the box by the touchline. That Johnston punched that ball to the moon. He just got a hold of that one. As Andre Gomez tries to catch the ball with his hands. But yeah, I think after the game's over, I'll probably just go ahead and make a transfer. Like, it's probably just because I'm tired of looking at this team. I'll probably just go ahead and get Son in. Sam Allardyce is not happy, that's for sure. He wants a card. So Kane's going to go up tonight. Mount's going to go up tonight. Looks like Son's got a decent chance tonight or tomorrow. Stones soon, Martinez soon, Rafinha soon. These are a lot of players that could be decent options, by the way. Rafinha in the future, I see him definitely coming into my team. Not definitely because things can change, but as I said, given the lack of options at that price that I really like, there's a very good chance he comes in soon. Now, Barnes will probably go down soon. I know with injuries, they may block it. I don't really know how that works, but he's at risk to go down is the point. So, but I don't think that's enough for me to really want to. Oh, that was so close. I think that was Calvert-Lewin sort of put a cross into Andre Gomez. And wasn't quite hard enough or out in front of him enough. And the defender got to it first. Could have been a decent assist there for Calvert-Lewin. Literally any return here for Calvert-Lewin is something I'm celebrating. I don't care if he ends this game with 5 points in this match, 2 in the other, 7-pointer. I'm taking that. That's fine. I just want a little more points. Salah's price could easily go down soon. Not too many other notables. Madison's price going down soon, of course. Cancelo is dropping quickly. He's kind of a decent ways away from that. But and Bruno, when I sort it by people that are dropping the quickest to the top 3, not in order, are Madison, Cancelo, and Bruno, because they have the most red arrows. So that's how that works. So people are getting rid of them very, very rapidly. And maybe Bruno out in the future. I guess I could do that this week as well. But I would certainly sell Rashford before Bruno. So, maybe both of them out at some point. I'm happy with people selling Bruno. I get him against West Ham, then the blank, which I'll probably free hit in, and then they play Brighton. I'm perfectly happy having Bruno for those games. I think Rashford's a decent fixture for Man City, given like the tactical side of things and counterattacking and all that, but I still have no issue getting rid of him. As Calvert-Lewin's playing left back, which is always good to see. So we got like what? 20 minutes left? I'm tired. Who's that coming on? Was that Snodgrass? As Allen, again, doing good stuff on the ball, unlike Iwobi, plays the ball with Charleston. Allen's good, man. I really like Allen. I think, the color commentator on the NBC Sports broadcast actually made a good point earlier this game. They were talking about Digne and how he's a good left back, but the commentator was like, I think that he could get to the byline a little more and basically just, work harder to get there, like put more effort in to go forward. Like the commentator's criticism of him was that he just gets the ball and plays it to the center back too much, and quite maybe isn't as adventurous as he could be, and he needs to see how he can push the boundaries a little more. And I could agree with that. We don't really see Digne getting into the Jordi Alba position where he's at the edge of the, kind of on where the 18-yard box meets the touch line, and Robertson gets there a lot too. But it's also because Digne is slower than those guys. Those guys are faster than him, so it's a little bit harder for him. So I get why he ends up. He gets there sometimes, but I do think with the skills he has, he could probably find a way to do that. But there's also tactical reasons, and you don't know what he's coached to do exactly. So the ball is literally pinballing around the box for Everton. Sigurdsson took a swing at it. Bernardo lost it. Allen controlling the play some more. Tries to find Calvert-Lewin, but it's rejected. West Brom need to remember that they're 1-0 down here. And they're sitting deep a little bit right now, as they get the ball out wide and nothing happens. When they get the ball near the corner flag, they simply haven't been able to put in crosses from that area besides their goal. A lot of that's because Iwobi and Bernard were playing those positions, and Digne simply hasn't been able to get many forward. But it's looking a little better now, as Andre Gomes puts a pretty hard tackle in, but it was deemed fair. This is a good chance. That was terrible. So, great tackle from Gomez. He plays in Digne, obviously down the left-hand side, puts a cross back for Calvert-Lewin, takes the ground cross on his weak foot, and skies it way over. Certainly not good. Great run from Digne to get on the defender's blind side. That technique there from Calvert-Lewin is terrible. He's chopping down on the ball, clipping the very bottom of it on his weak foot. I think he could have sold the fake shot and cut onto his right if, for whatever reason, he's that poor on his weak foot. A little bit dangerous, you could say that from Gomez, the tackle that started that off. I think the proper way to pronounce it is probably Gomes, given Portuguese pronunciation, but not too sure. But, man, that's upsetting. Game week 2, 3, 4, even game week 1, Calvert-Lewin scores that, I think. Or at least he scored a goal this game. If he gets these chances. And he's only got like 15 minutes left now. I don't see it happening. I was never too hopeful in that last chance, but whenever you see a cross coming into Calvert-Lewin in a decent position, you have to be hopeful in the moment. As Maitland-Niles is down and receiving treatment. I would say that's a pretty good signing on West Brom's part, by the way. Probably a smart signing. I think they could use some players like him. Potentially a little bit of creativity, some hard work in there as well. You got Son and Bertrand Troy for Madison and Barnes. Thoughts? Well, Troy is risky, I think. I think I would even go El Ghazi over him, I think. But obviously Son and Madison and Barnes out are good, and Son in is fine. That's weird that the cam froze. Thanks for telling me. I'll have to, I need to get a proper camera. That's true, William. I watched a video the other day about the future of basically soccer in World Cup. Which World Cup would that be? I think it's 2026. Yeah, I think there's going to be a World Cup in year. Yeah, so in 2026, I think we'll have a pretty decent team. We have Claudio Reyna. Wait, is that his name or is that his dad's name? I forgot which one's which now. Claudio Reyna. It's Giovanni Reyna, right? Yeah, Claudio Reyna is the guy that used to play. I actually watched him play once in Charleston. Yeah, I don't think I can captain an Everton player after this, to be honest. So I agree with you, but yeah, Giovanni Reyna should be good by then. Obviously, there's Pulisic. We have Zach Steffen, the Man City goalkeeper. There's John Brooks will still be around then. Yedlin's not going to be a part of that team, I don't think. The Juventus guy, McKinney, should be fine. Tyler Adams, I like Tyler Adams. The center striker could be an issue in terms of not somebody that's elite level. By that time, there could be a young player this isn't 5 years from now. But I think that's when the U.S. team could actually be something. But we don't know for sure. There's Anthony Robinson of Fulham. I don't mind him. There's Otasawi on Wolves. I think he's fine. Any Premier League player right now is always exciting for us Americans with regards to our national team. I could see him earning a spot potentially, but I think Adams, McKinney, Pulisic, Steffen, I would say those guys are, as nailed on as you're going to get in 5 years from now. Pulisic's the obvious one. You got people like Sargent that could play striker. Weah could be there, of course. Anthony Robinson, I'd be happy with him at left back. I forgot who's our best right back. I don't remember. We have some guys in the Bundesliga, though. I know we have. We kind of always do. But I always forget their names. As West Brom, decent chance, I would say. A good cross. West Brom have put better crosses into the box than Everton have. They've been trying to give Digne some decent service there. Do West Brom have a decent fixture next week, or in general? They play Newcastle. That's right. They have another home game. It's third in a row. I mean, he wouldn't be the worst option, right? I don't think so. But yeah, I think I have to get in Son this week. I just hope Kane blanks. Like, if Calvert-Lewin's not going to do anything, at least the one thing that makes me feel better is Bruno getting 6 points. Like, that was who I was never going to get in Kane. I was never going to tear him out because I would have had to make some weird moves to get him in, really. Son, somebody I could have gotten in, I suppose. I talked about him weeks ago as, I could bring him in and triple captain him. I wish I would have done that, obviously, but that's hindsight. I had my reasons, of course. But yeah, anyway, back to this guy. I mean, these aren't bad. I don't really see myself bringing him in though. But yeah, I mean, Bruno was the guy that I would have captained if not for Calvert-Lewin. So I'm really not missing out on many points here at all. With regards to the alternative, and considering that nobody in my team besides Johnston, of course, my sub, does anything. It doesn't hurt as bad as if, even if Bruno just got 10 points, that would have been a little bit worse. But 6 points is still more than 4. Who's that? Some West Brom player gets a yellow, and Everton have, not the best free kick, but still time for a Calvert-Lewin goal. I don't know how I want this game to play out at this point. Because sometimes in games like these, if West Brom score late, all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's just desperately defend. Let's sit back and just hold on to our lead. And that's something we see happen a lot as Josh King's looking to be put in. I don't have the audio, so I don't really know who's going to be taken off. It could very well be Calvert-Lewin given how he's played. But let's see who else is out there. There's a good chance it would be Bernard. That's probably the most likely option. So probably King on for Bernard. Which was probably a good thing. Fresh legs. Bernard's a weird player. I like him when he's able to drift inside a little bit, but I feel like he's just inconsistent in general. He's not world class for that reason. And yeah, it's Bernard that's going to be coming off. It appears. I guess they'll wait till next time. But I mean, Bernard, he's got skills. He's got good ball control, I feel like. But he's also tiny. And there goes Bernard. He's just so small. He's 5'5". He's tiny, so he's got to be super fast and super strong. And he's not super strong, but super skillful. And he's not super fast. If he had more speed, I'm trying to think of a good example. I mean, he's pretty fast, but I don't know. Just be like Messi. It's not hard. Just score some goals, dribble around everybody. Pretty easy. Just do that. Jeez. But yeah, Bruno blanking twice surprised me so much. Manchester United's lack of creativity is just astonishing. Bruno will probably outscore that next week against Man City. He'll just get a random penalty. And then all of a sudden, he scored more points than 2 games. Ooh, that was a good cross from West Brom. And with this, they're about to send everybody forward right here. They're going to lose the ball. The counterattack is going to happen. Richarlison's going to be free. He's going to square the ball to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin's going to get a tap in. That's my prediction. What's more likely is Calvert-Lewin's about to shoot and he gets fouled, and then Sigurdsson scores the penalty. Well, they could have won the ball, but they headed it right back to West Brom. West Brom in the box. Desperate defending here from Everton, actually. Richarlison doing some defensive work. West Brom still keeping the ball right on the edge of the Everton box. Another block shot. Calvert-Lewin has the ball. Is he going to score from his own half? The answer is no. He gives the ball away. Calvert-Lewin's still jogging around. Plenty of stamina. But yeah, I think for a lot of us with the Barnes injury, or maybe we still have Grealish, I think, well, I don't know about Grealish's status, but I think Son in is going to make a lot of sense for a lot of people. Maybe you're even looking to sell Bruno. I think Son is going to be obvious for a lot of people. There's simply nowhere else to really go in midfield that I rely on. So Son's price is probably going to increase. So I would keep that in mind as well. And here's a counterattack. I didn't even want to say words because I know it's just going to fail once I say it. And, of course, that's what happens. Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin up on the counter. Richarlison dribbling. Gives the ball away. Everton, don't do this. Don't just hold the ball, please. And they're about to go all the way back to Pickford. And they do. Only 5 minutes left. Digne gets the ball in some space. Now he wants to drive forward. And guess what he does? Guess what he does, guys? He takes a very, very heavy touch. Practically just passing the ball away. So I was playing some indoor soccer yesterday, right? And who's down? Wait, is that Richarlison? Oh, that's Holgate. So Holgate's now holding his hamstring. Anyway, as he's down, let me go back to chat. I was playing some indoor soccer yesterday. We lost like 6-10. I'm on a team. I didn't know anybody, so I just joined the random team there, where just random people join together. And I tell you, these players are not great. Let's put it that way. Yeah, very slightly. But just imagine having a goalkeeper. And so they got this one goalkeeper. And yeah, I saw that Kane missing chances. Andy, Let's Talk FPL, is clearly very upset about that. I see that Kane missing easy chances is nice to see. And that's surprising. That's not what I would have expected from him. I would have expected him simply to not get that many. But Calvert-Lewin's missed one. Maybe Calvert-Lewin is just a fraud. Calvert-Lewin's about... You know what? I just figured it out. Calvert-Lewin's about to go on the same end-of-season terrible run as he did last season. The fixtures are actually pretty decent, though. It's going to be... I'm predicting right now. Calvert-Lewin's going to fail against Chelsea. He blanks against Burnley. He'll probably score in one of one of Crystal Palace, and then Brighton, and then he'll blink for the rest of the season besides assists. That's my prediction. 1 goal for the rest of the season. That's my bold prediction here. That's my overreaction. But yeah, this goalkeeper, so we conceded 10 goals. This one girl, every time she got the ball, she crossed, and we had more girls on our team, of course, which hurt our quality of play by far. But they love putting crosses in, even though it's like a small field, 5v5 for some reason. Again, did they know what they were doing? Players on both teams, most of them, I would say no. Regardless, it was fun. I got to just exercise and try to get better because I haven't been playing that much. But this goalkeeper conceding 10 goals, you would assume he catches the ball. You get a lot of shots from a lot of these players. You would assume he catches the ball. This guy that showed up with goalie gloves again. So you had to go out and buy goalie gloves because I assume you think you're a goalie. He caught the ball from a shot or cross, like not just picking up the ball or a loose bouncing ball, one time all game. Once. 10 goals. Caught the ball once. Ball coming at his chest. He's about to punch. Every time. And I don't care. I really don't care. Again, I'm playing with like players that aren't amazing, but it's not about that at this place. So it's, you know, I don't ever complain. It's fine. And I'll just try to win regardless. But at some point, like, it's different. Like, any human being, even if you don't know anything about soccer or whatever the case may be, if you just put a random human being in the net, like, especially somebody that's not scared of the ball, because that wasn't the case with this guy, and the ball is just coming right at them, you know, just floating to them, and they can easily just make the catch right in front of their face or their chest, they're going to naturally catch the ball. Like, it's what's going to happen. Okay, the ball's coming toward me. I have these gloves here. I'm going to catch it. But he would intentionally give the ball back to the other team every time and just punch it. And, like, it was so obvious. I didn't even want to, like, I mean, at this place, again, I don't ever say anything. I don't ever, like, oh, you know, we should do this. I just don't want to even go down that road. But I was just so confused. Like, I wouldn't even say anything to him if I wanted to, because that would just be so... How dare me go up to you and assume you don't know catching the ball is beneficial? Like, but I don't think he actually knows that. Like, I think that I think he just likes punching the ball. Maybe I really was just so confused. I was like, what are you... Ball punch. I'm like, it's not your ex's face or something. Like, do you have... Are you just mad? You just want to punch things? Oh my gosh. It was just confusing. Not even on a sporting level, not just on a natural level. Like, why are you punching this thing so much? Just stop. Just catch the ball and just roll it to me. Oh man. So that was interesting. But yeah, telling that story has got me through another couple minutes of Everton passing the ball around. That's where this game's going to end at. Calvert-Lewin's not going to score. I've given up all hope. Have there been no goals in the second half at all? Have there? But yeah, we actually got this keeper from a different team because ours hasn't been able to come. I don't know any of these people again, so I don't know if ours is an actual keeper or not. So this is my first time seeing this guy play for our team, and it was just very surprising. Because punching the ball is also, like, more painful, right? Like, just catching a ball coming right at you and settling everything down just makes more sense. Like, West Brom score, the man himself, Diagne, scores, and they call offside. This will be an interesting one. Ruling on the field is offside. That looked to be a pretty good finish. I was looking down right when he did it, but linesman seems pretty confident. Linesman's like, yep, that's offside. I'm going to look down at my feet and position my mouth in a confident way. So we'll see. Waiting for this ball to come in. Oh, that is so close. That is so close. This has to be VAR checked. I'm ready for this line. It looks to me like he's offside, but again, we don't know if that's an accurate depiction of when the ball is being touched. That's my one criticism of VAR. VAR as a whole, the idea of video refereeing, I like the idea. But the way they implement it, I'm not sure if they have a good way to determine exactly when the ball leaves the passer's foot. In that case, I think it was probably outside regardless, but so because the ball doesn't instantly hit your foot and then leave it, right? So because sometimes, like, do you start it when they make contact with the ball, or then once you can see a space between, like, the player's foot and the ball, like, in terms of the passer? Like, when is where you draw the line at? So it's always interesting to see how they do that. And I think generally they're pretty consistent. I think they just do when they make contact with the ball. But if you're like a frame or two off with whatever video recording software you're using, it could make a big difference in a lot of these tight calls we've seen. So I just question it because I'm like, do we really know how accurate this is? I can assume it's accurate, but it's not like they've ever gone into detail to explain to us exactly why it's so accurate. I mean, because we've just seen them drawing lines. And in general, I think the lines are actually pretty accurate. People make fun of them because it looks like Microsoft Paint. But it's all, they sort of reference plenty of angles, and I think they do a decent job with the whole line drawing thing, even though it looks a bit goofy. And yeah, Everton just holding on to the game. There's going to be no Calvert-Lewin goal here. So a blank from the captain is not good. From the triple captain, complete fail. Should have went with Salah, I suppose. Areola would have been better, but we'll see. I can't really regret it too much, and the match is over. I can't really. It is what it is. Calvert-Lewin in two great matchups, blanking is never too expected, I would say. I would bet that most of the time he at least gets one of these games. But from this point on, I really don't like Calvert-Lewin as an option. I don't trust him after Everton not being able to do well. They did well, I suppose. But Calvert-Lewin not being the central point of being on the end of all their chances, it doesn't make me trust Calvert-Lewin. It simply doesn't. And Tottenham win 1-0. No big Kane returns, so not killed by not having Kane. Let's check my live rank if I can manage to somehow do so. I'm sure that I can't. Because the site will probably be down now that full time is blown. I would expect my rank to go down. I had some players play today. So, yeah, I'm basically at 50K. And I have Salah left. So, yeah, let's see. And I've got the same amount as most people. I've got one player left to go. And for most people, of course, that is Salah. So, no huge rank changes. If anything, I would expect my rank to probably go up a little bit. But yeah, down to 50K, not an amazing week. Especially, 63 points, double game week. Let's go back to last week. 89 points. 89. Way less fixtures. Not even close. No triple captain played. And blown the score out of the water. The week before that, 105 points. Not even close. And then 53. And then 72. And again, this is just a random single game week where Calvert-Lewin actually did something. But yeah, that ends off just such a poor week. It's the kind of low quality week this is insane. What is that? So moving on to next week, I think bringing Son in will make a lot of sense. I could bring in someone with a double, but I already have 3 Man City players, so that would mean me bringing in a Southampton player, and I just don't see how that would be worth it, especially long term. They do have some good fixtures, however, so maybe if you're wildcarding around this time or this week, Ings and then someone else, but I heard from somewhere that the reason Ings didn't start against Leeds was because of the quality of their pitch, how so many people have been slipping recently. They just didn't want someone like Ings to play on that field, which that would make sense to me. But that sucks that Leeds field is that bad. Calvert-Lewin's not a great option this week. Maybe I could even bench Calvert-Lewin, instead of Rashford. That actually may be the way to go. Just to punish him for his poor performance today. But I'm probably going to sell Rashford, so that sort of doesn't work. Let's see who I could sell Barnes for again. That move's got to happen at some point, I suppose. Maybe I do a -4 to get Son in. How much more money do I need? 1.5. Who would I sell? I can't sell the Man City guys yet because they have the double, or at least I wouldn't want to. I could simply make somebody a bench option. I could get rid of Calvert-Lewin. He's got good fixtures, though. I don't really want to sell him. I have the Crystal Palace fixture along with the others. Bamford could go. West Ham, then Chelsea. They play in the blank. I still expect a free hit the blank. Bamford could go to a 5.2. That would make things a little bit simpler, I suppose. Let's see. I still have forwards I could downgrade for some money at some point. Let's go to forwards. 5.2. I mean, is it really just going to be a bench option? I think so. Does anybody sneak in? Connolly, Fabio Silva. I would probably just go down to a Brewster at this point if I'm going to go that cheap. Robson, Kanu. Yeah, so nothing. But if you just go up a little bit, I mean, okay, there's also McGoldrick. But do I really want McGoldrick? But if you just go up to 6.1, I could get in Mr. Diagna and I don't think I would do that regardless. I don't love a lot of options in general right now in FPL. A lot of defenders seem to be fine, but everybody else is kind of bad. Bamford's never going to be... I don't really want to sell Bamford like that, though. I'll probably get him back at some point. I'll probably do Ings to Bamford later. Once, like, around this time of the Ings blank, Ings to Bamford could work at some point. But for now, I mean, this could actually be what I do. If only I could find somebody that I actually wanted to play. But really, I would only be doing this to keep Rashford and sell Calvert-Lewin. And I don't, or not sell Calvert-Lewin, bench Calvert-Lewin for this week. And I don't know if that's really worth it. Do I really want to keep Rashford? I could just get rid of him. But then I'd be playing Calvert-Lewin. Or I could make 2 non-Barnes transfers. Get rid of Rashford for Son. I think Son's, again, he's just going to be brought in by a lot of people this week, I think. And then Bamford, 7.9. I mean, there's Watkins, of course. Not terrible fixtures. Not amazing, though. Don't really love a lot of these options. There's Antonio. Obviously, I got rid of him. Again, not great fixtures. Don't really know what I would do with this striker spot. So maybe just Rashford to Son and play Calvert-Lewin against Chelsea, knowing that he's going to blank. Or I could bench him as well and play Target against Wolves. Don't know if that's much better, but I don't know. I mean, Calvert-Lewin recently, he scored against United and Liverpool, or he got returns against United and Liverpool and Leeds. So these are teams that like to attack. Chelsea, do they fit in that category? I mean, kind of, right? But yeah, Calvert-Lewin, not many returns recently. But these good fixtures may not even be that good for him, given how they played recently. And like I said, he scored against teams that like to attack, apparently. Even West Brom and whoever else they played, Southampton, weren't good enough for him. So playing Target over him is kind of offensive to Calvert-Lewin, but maybe that would be the way to go. In fact, for now, I mean, I gotta simply lock that in. I feel like I should probably make a transfer by tonight just to avoid the Son price rise. If I could do Barnes to Son, I would certainly do that. And I think that fits almost anyone's strategy because they play in the blank, and also Son's good right away. So yeah, Son in is most likely. I just have to decide how I want to maneuver my players around, who I want to sell. I could do a -4 to sell Barnes, or I could just simply sell Rashford. Regardless, maybe Target over Calvert-Lewin makes sense. Do I really think Target's a great option, though? I'll have to take a look into it. Wolves, not like a super attacking team. Scored once against Newcastle. Scored once against Leeds. Villa, not amazing defensively. There's a reasonable chance of a clean sheet, but it's not super astonishing, I would suppose. Calvert-Lewin's always going to be higher upside. Wolves failed to score against Leicester. Wolves, not a team that scored 3 a lot. Failed to score against Crystal Palace in 21, and they're on the road. So, but yeah, Wolves without Jimenez is simply not. It's not the same Wolves. Let's look at what they've done on the road to see if that makes a difference. Lost 4-1. They won 2-1, 1-0. Not a lot of away games recently. It doesn't appear to make a huge difference. I wouldn't say it does. They average about 1 goal per game. So decent chance of some just natural fluctuation. They just don't score one. I don't know. Calvert-Lewin versus Target will be another decision. Maybe I just leave it up to Donna, just because I don't want to have to deal with predicting Calvert-Lewin anymore after this week. But yeah, Son definitely coming in. I would say it simply has to happen. Pick one to start: Digne, Shaw, or Bruno. And hello, Adam. How's it going? I would say Digne, Shaw, or Bruno. Not Digne. I would have to go Bruno. Because it's Bruno, you get the penalties, and I think right away that's a little more threat than the other guys have. But I don't think, Man City have conceded recently, and we've seen some rotation for them. Maybe they won't be as focused on the league. There's some cases that could be made. They conceded 1 against West Ham and Wolves at home, so you could reasonably assume that United can score at least 1 against them, and Bruno's got a decent chance of that. But in general, I don't really think the other guys are huge options. I would go Shaw over Digne though if you're still not sold on Bruno, because, well, I haven't been impressed by Everton. Obviously Shaw and Digne about similar assist threat, I would say. And I could see Man City playing pretty cagely against United, but I still think they'll score. They've got too much quality. But the point is that I think United or City, Pep especially, could come into the game just not wanting to lose, just for momentum's sake. Being okay with a slight win or a draw. That'd be fine with them, just to keep pushing their way to the finish line of winning the title. They don't really have to go all out to try to make something crazy happen. So yeah, if it's late in the game, final 30 minutes and it's still 0-0, they're not going to be desperate for a win. So there are some scenarios where I could see Shaw being a decent option, but Bruno is still, if I had Bruno, I would play him any week. So that's just how I would look at it personally. You would really need some serious options on the bench in order to bench Bruno in any week. I can't say this team even will get a green arrow, but we never know. I think captaincy is going to be difficult. United haven't been good; they have bad fixtures. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I will have to see you guys in the next live stream. Thank you for joining me. Pretty soon, probably in 10 or 15 minutes, if you're interested in this sort of thing, I'll be opening my FIFA rewards packs on FIFA 21. And the Twitch link is in the description below. So go follow me there if you're into that sort of thing. Anyway, hopefully you had a good game week, a better game week than I did. And hopefully your triple captain, or if you use a chip, worked out pretty decently. Even Kane, is not terrible. 8 points is not bad. The minimum is 9 or 10, I would say, for what you can really be expecting. But double game week, 8 points, you can't complain too much. That's what I would say. So that's not bad. Other than that, Bruno fails, Gundogan fails. Not ideal for a lot of triple captainers this week. So hopefully you weren't one of those guys, and hopefully you didn't go for Calvert-Lewin like I did. But he still should have scored one of his chances. But anyway, I will see you guys next time.